thank you so much for gracing this occasion. You have yourself been to the Kanpur University, and today as host, they have invited you again to bless them by your presence and by your wisdom. So the big question that we have put in front of this webinar, and to which we require your guidance and wisdom: how does yoga help us create a new future from here on? So many of us have looked at the past, at the current COVID situation. But every person here today on the planet is asking the same question: what is going to happen in the future? And what, according to you, is the future if we put yoga as the base? So could you enlighten us on that, Guruji, please?
I'm not an astrologer to predict the future. But what I could see is that it's going to bring a paradigm shift in our understanding to move from matter-based paradigm to consciousness-based approach. That is a new way of life. So Ayurveda has been talking about this way of life as ahara, vihara, vichara, achara, the 4 dimensions. So all these things are going to change post-COVID situation. The whole world is looking at India as to how we guide the world in dealing with this COVID Mahamari. So what probably is going to have is a change in our lifestyle, and that is the one that is going to bring the dividends to move towards the holistic approach. Now we're in a phase of artha and kama. That is the money, the wealth, and enjoyment. These are the forerunners of our entire life. And we have to move from here to the next level called dharma and moksha. That is the 4-fold dimensions. Artha, kama, dharma, and moksha. So good. It is nice to have the wealth. It is nice to enjoy life. But if that becomes the whole and soul of the whole life, then we get stuck. It has to be put in a framework. Too much is too bad, as we say. Therefore, that framework is called the dharma, or the laws that govern us to take to the higher heights of greater bliss, greater joy, better health, and growth in the whole encounter. Contained in that is a sense of little selflessness. As Daji always says, that we have to move from selfishness to selflessness, that we have to give and give and give. What I call is from kama to prema. In kama is our normal friendship in which we love each other, and I give you something, I expect that you also give me something in return. If you don't give me, our friendship breaks. Whereas in the prema bhava, go on giving and giving and giving, and without expecting anything in return. And as the proverb goes, friend in need is a friend indeed. That dimension is going to emerge in the whole encounter. Because now our Prime Minister rightly has proposed that we should all give and give and give, and appreciating those people who are giving, Corona warriors, and then people who are contributing for the poor, everybody, and most of the people, whether it's Shishi or Daji, all people are trying to give more and more to the people, to meet the situation. So that is going to take a bigger shape in the post-COVID situation, I think. And this is going to bring us a deeper understanding. If we can give the deeper understanding of the whole life and the laws of the creation, then this will be easily accepted by the scientific community and therefore the youth.
Guruji, you said something very powerful about lifestyle. This is one word that I captured in your address. Why we should be doing this, you explained. How should we be doing this? How should lifestyle, which is a yogic lifestyle, be created, especially for our youth that you were just talking about?
Yeah. For the youth, today, the objective is to become a millionaire, a billionaire, and possibly a trillionaire, and become the richest of the world. I said, your ambition is very small. you must have much bigger ambition. Like our ancient masters, they said this is nothing. Even if I become the richest man of the world and have all the wealth of the world, that is nothing for me. Even if I become an emperor, that is nothing. Then what is it? I want infinite bliss, infinite knowledge, infinite power, infinite freedom. And that is the state of what you call as moksha or kaivalya. And that is our original state. Patanjali called it as swarupa. Therefore, I tell our youth today, your ambition is very, very small. Earlier we are thinking, okay, I will get a job, I will get married, I will have children. That's all. That's the end of the game. But now the youngsters are very intelligent. No, I want to become a millionaire in the fastest time. Now I said, this is small. You have to go further. So for that, you have to have a new lifestyle. That lifestyle is ahara, vihara, chara, and the achara to be brought forth. That's what the Ayurveda prescribes. That's what yoga brings up. It's a lifestyle of wealth, health, harmony, peace, and sharing more and more. And living a life of stress-free action and relaxation. So this is the thing that yoga gives us. That's how we have to move towards the higher way of life.
Very, very, very apt, I would say, for us to start thinking of the path ahead now that we are set on it, whether we like it or not.
Yes.
The question that comes, and which is something I think many of our viewers must be thinking about when you are speaking, what is known is that as a person who has done so much for yoga in the country, and you having had so much experience worldwide, also from the scientific angle, the work that you are doing is very important to bring science into the research of yoga, because yoga is a science. Our rishis were scientists in that manner. So you meet and talk with so many people who are real stakeholders in the creation of a new future for at least our country. And when we speak of Prime Minister Ji, it is very important. Ravi Ji said that you are the guru for yoga for our Prime Minister Ji. You have talked with him, guided him, helped him, and so many people look up to you. So how would you think that people in the country who are leading our country today shape the future leaders of our country from amongst our youth? What is their role?
See, what impressed me in my life is the teaching of Swami Vivekananda. He said that we have tremendous knowledge base, the knowledge base of the whole creation we have in our yoga, spirituality, in our ancient texts, and so on. But the West also had contributed tremendously for the growth, And thanks to that, today we have been able to sit in our homes and conduct these big webinars from all over the world. The whole world has been condensed into a single place.
Yes.
Our dream of bringing Vasudha Eva Kutumbakam is happening. Therefore, don't neglect the West. Combine the best of the East with the best of the West. This is what we have to do. And once we start doing that, then it will happen. I was very inspired by this teachings of Swami Vivekananda and said, so we have to take research. And we started this Vivekananda Yoga Anusandhana Samsthan. We named it as a research foundation, research organization. And that's how research became the key factor. What characterizes us is the research, And we started this movement. Many people said that we have to go marketing and big thing you have to do. We said, put all our energy into research. Let us show that yoga is equally scientific and scientific validation can come up. But today, the world of research has become very complicated, very sophisticated. To publish a paper is very, very difficult. So when we started doing that thing to publish our paper in BMJ, it was a Herculean task. It took 1.5 years and we had to answer so many questions because they didn't want yoga to come up, They started pouring questions after questions and answers after answers. It went on and on. At that time, there was no internet. It took almost 1.5 years for us. So today also the rigor is equally good, So because of that rigor, the research is taking a big shape. This was also present in our earlier times. Our earlier times when they used to establish a particular thing, they will tear the pieces. The persons who would bring a new hypothesis, they will be brought in a big thing and all types of questions will be poured on him and he has to answer. It may take 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days conferences. Janak Maharaj used to organize such conferences where
Yes.
lakhs of people will be there. There are spiritual masters, yoga masters, and hatha yoga masters, and tantrics, and all types of people. And the person who would bring about the hypothesis has to answer all these people. That was the rigor that he used to have. If they fail, okay, don't worry, come back next time in the next conference, promote it. That's how it used to go on. Same rigor is today in science, scientific research.
Very nice. I mean, that is an excellent model to see ancient India being so modern actually and inspiring us. Because our universities were also places of high learning, even in the ancient times.
Yeah.
Today, bringing this idea, many of the students, many of the future, I would say our future leaders who are today students, would be wondering how yoga can be woven into their careers. Because you see, they are, like you said, they all aspire for corporate careers or high careers or earning money. How can yoga become a way for them to live, work, and integrate and spread?
I find a lot of people who are in the field of IT, they're all moving towards the YT, I call, yoga therapy. A lot of people come here in our thing, in our university, in our courses, many of them, almost 30–40% are all IT professionals. I asked them, you see, you have such a lucrative career, why do you come here? And here you can't expect that you will earn 2 lakhs per month and then 5 lakhs and you don't have that big packages. Why you want to come here? I asked them. He said, sir, we have realized that money is necessary, but there is higher aspects of life. We want health, we want love and affection, we want family life, we want happiness, we want family life. That should happen. But in the IT field, we have no time for all these things. Morning till night we go, and they say Saturday, Sunday is holidays, but over the last 3 years, I did not take even a single holiday because we are target oriented. Unless I keep the target, I will not grow in the encounter. So morning till night, I go on working. And my wife, the person said that what type of thing that you are doing that? You have no time for your wife, no time for your children. And what life is this thing? What is the use of all this wealth that you are getting? So this has started making the move from this. Second aspect is the tension and the stress. You have to meet the target. If you don't, then you stake your entire job. Therefore, you have to be very, very careful, and then tremendous amount of stress is coming up. And they start developing diabetes. And today, the heart attacks have come at a very young age. Our Narayan Hudayalaya is our person here. He said, earlier we used to get cases who are only about 45, 50, 55. Now we started getting youngsters at the age of 20, 25 with big heart attacks.
Oh.
These are all the things that's happening today. So they're all moving towards it. So nature provides ways by which people have to move from one level to another. Similarly, the COVID has started putting them into an isolation. You learn how to stay in the house, how to stay isolated, and learn the deeper dimensions of life. Otherwise, we could never stay in the house. Most people whom I am meeting, they say, in our life, first time we have stayed in the house for 2 months continuously. Even in Prashanti also, I'm staying here first time for a long time. Probably
Yes.
Also so.
Yes, you are known to travel a lot for your work and attend to so many things in the world, I would say. At least India, you travel a lot. I was thinking one very interesting thing, and I think this is one of our questions that has been on the mind. Do you think that tomorrow's economy is moving towards preventive medicine rather than curative medicine? Right? And what role do you think Prashanti and also our medical institutions, our students, those who are aspiring, because during this pandemic, the heroes were the doctors, were the medicos, were the nurses. So that profession came into the light as being a very noble profession. They did really a good job. How do you think tomorrow we can induce our youth to consider preventive medicine as an important aspect?
Yeah. Now the challenge of NCD is driving us towards such integrative medicine. Another dimension is, as you rightly say, prevention, and the proverb says prevention is better than cure. Therefore, in all the planning commission meetings which I have attended over the last 3–4 things earlier, before it became Niti Aayog, I've been emphasizing, you see, the speciality of our Ayush system is to emphasize on way of life for prevention. Now you become sick, then you start giving medicine. The whole system of healthcare has become medication care, pharma oriented, because that also is oriented towards business, So therefore, this has to be changed. When we say prevention is better than cure, how much money do we spend in any budget, health budget? Hardly 2%, 3%. Therefore, I have been pleading and emphasizing in the planning commissions that we should adopt more money. And in the last planning commission, before it was transformed into Niti Aayog, we had decided, yes, we are going to give. They asked me how much we had to. All of them agreed. And I said, at least can we give some 20 to 25%. Finally, they said, let us do at least 10%. That's how we negotiated. It was to come forth. And this is what I started continuing to emphasize to our Naddaji also, who was our health minister before he became now the BJP president. And he said, yes, we have to do that. Therefore, AYUSH system should be integrated. And therefore, in all the aims, he developed the AYUSH wing separately. They built the buildings, they allotted the budget and start doing that. And therefore, the allopathic system and AYUSH systems have been integrated in almost all the aims, All India Institute of Medical Sciences. Probably you may know that. Then he said, now we have to bring it to the people at large. Wellness centers, 1.5 lakh wellness centers are proposed in the whole country, and they allotted good budget of nearly 20 lakhs for each wellness center as the infrastructural thing and so on. Therefore, if you look at the budget, it comes to more than about 15%. 1.5 lakh into 25 lakhs, you think about that.
Yes, big number.
Direction has been given and things are moving in the right direction towards prevention. Ultimately, it is integrative medicine at the higher level. Both dimensions of allopathy and then AYUSH should be combined together. But the challenge was even among AYUSH, there was no integration. So in the Ministry of AYUSH, I started putting this concept of integration. How to do that? Ayurveda people do not like Unani. Unani do not like homeopathy. Homeopathy people do not like. This was going on. So they could see no eye to eye. I said, let us bring yoga in all the places. Everybody agreed. This is how integration starts coming up, So yoga is acceptable at all levels. Whether it is allopathy, Siddha, Unani, homeopathy, Ayurveda, everybody wants. So in all the syllabus now yoga is going to come up as a dimension. That's how we can bring integration of the whole thing.
So yoga as the unifying factor for the future. Very true. So Guruji, last thing we would like you to share with us is what kind of a vision of the future do you have? What would you like to see the world to be with your experience, with your vast amount of work that you have done? Is there an utopia in terms of how yoga can shape this future? And what is this future you would think India deserves or we deserve as a human race?
Swami Vivekananda has given this whole vision, which I'm only trying to bring it to practice. At the education front, we must have total personality development in the education field. It should not just be a bread-earning education, as he puts it. It should be only to make money. And that has been considered. Today, if you ask any youth which course you are going to take, in our times it used to be medicine and engineering. All of us have done that thing, because that's the one that would give the money. Today they say, why I have to undergo 5.5 years of medicine? Even then I don't get, then I have to have the specialties, super specialties. At the end of 15 years of my study, how much I'm going to get? 1 to 2 lakhs per month. Now, if I take computer, within a few years, 2, 3 years, 4 years, I can get, if I have master's in computer engineering, then I will get the money. Why I have to undergo this? Money has become the forerunner of the entire thing. This has to be changed. So, what Swami Vivekananda said is, education should have both the dimensions. Bread earning is necessary, very important. Earning is important. No belittling of that. But that should not be the aim. It should be total personality development. Physical, mental, emotional, intellectual, spiritual dimension should come up. It is the total personality. Therefore, we started bringing this dimension way back in 1976 itself in our Arunachal Pradesh schools. We said fourfold consciousness, fourfold personality development. Physical, mental, emotional, intellectual, fourfold personality. Civic sense, patriotism, service urge, and spiritual zeal. So these four, we incorporated into the present framework. There are institutions who take this as the main thing and run residential courses everywhere. But we said we have to integrate with the present system that we have. Whether it's CBSE syllabus or the state syllabus, we have to incorporate this. So we developed in such a way that easily it can be brought. We want only 2 classes in a week. Then it can bring all the changes needed. And we incorporated that, showed that, and trained a large number of teachers at the primary, middle school, high school levels, and children have blossomed wonderfully. This is what we want in the future education system to shape up. And higher education system also we have formed the syllabus. Total personality development, fourfold consciousness. Then we have the real growth of the human being. This is what our Prime Minister wants. He said it should not be a celebration of IDA one day. The entire yoga should go into the education system. Then he said yoga should come into the healthcare delivery. What should happen in the healthcare? It should not be just a medicine-oriented thing. It should be really healthcare. For that, we have to combine the best of the East with the best of the West, modern medical system and the Ayush system. Both should come together in the whole environment. So this is how we started putting the integrative medicine. That integrative medicine is the future in the field of health. Similarly, in the field of economics, we should see that our ancient system of economic development should be brought forth here. So we have to see that we grow in the encounter to be in tune with nature. All our technologies and everything should be in tune with nature and not destroy the nature. And in the agricultural field, we should have the organic farming. In the Goshala, we must have the Indian cows, and these things should come up, and see that our entire village structure and the Goshala structure should come up, and we have to improvise our earlier things. So when I was in Institute, Indian Institute of Science, we started working as to how we can improvise our bullock cart system. Because in the dairy, one of the major challenges is that the females will give us the milk, and what happened to the males? This was used for plowing. But in the plowing, the things that were used were very, very hard. So can we improvise that thing using the technology? We started working that, bullock cart project, and we developed a number of new innovative things which can be easily brought forth. So like that, innovation should come. Otherwise, what we are doing, we're taking a lot of chemicals one side and using the tractors, and we removed all these things. Then what did the West do? You take the male cows and cut them and have beef. And that became the major thing. But they soon, after a few years, they understood it is so hazardous. And beef causes the colon cancer and all these things. The whole dairy industry started collapsing. And chemical fertilizers used in a big way in agriculture, they started hardening the entire field and destroy the nature. So in all these things, the destruction of nature has to be avoided. We should be in tune with that. That's why in recent PM's order, you can say in the environmental way, we have to maintain the diversity and the nature, everything should be done. We should not fight against nature. We should be in tune with nature, use the technology for this thing. So smart meter is going to come up, and many other dimensions should come up to see that we use that, and this thing should happen. So that's technology and others.
So this mentality, this idea, this spirit can be developed by yoga. And I would just like to remind everyone here that Guruji is also the executive president of the Indian Yoga Association, for which he works diligently day and night and gives so much support and help. And I'd like to ask you this one question. What is the role of Indian Yoga Association in the future as you see it?
See, our whole idea of starting the IYA was to synergize the effort of all the yoga masters. All the yoga masters have the same approach of consciousness-based approach, but we were all working as islands. And therefore, our whole idea was to bring all people together on a common platform and synergize the effort. For example, if you take Shishiji and so many millions of people, take Shri Ramdev Ji, he has got millions and crores. If you take Daji, so millions and crores. And Gayatri Parivar, you take crores and crores of people. And if you take any of the spiritual organizations and yoga organizations, each one of them has such a large number of devotees and dedicated works, committed people everywhere. And they are doing wonderful work, all selfless work and developing everything. But if we can synergize these efforts, then we have a new world order is going to come up. And that was the idea with which we started bringing all these things. But it is the most difficult thing, because each one of us have our own specialty. We want to say, yes, ours should be number one, ours should be number one. So we have to give up our ego if we have to be together. Tyaga is the key factor. Prema Bhava should come up. So this is what we started infusing in IYA. And we were very skeptical when we went. Myself and Basareddy went to our Bhishma Pitamaha, B.K. Saingar in the beginning. And we asked, because once he agrees, then IYA will come into existence, we knew. Then he made a very nice and an important remark. He said, Nagendra, you see, the people in the north and the south, the musicians, they come together and have a gharana. Beautiful music things that happen. So why we as yoga masters cannot come together and do this? We should do that, he said. It was a thrilling experience for us. We never expected that because Shankar would say this thing. And it took the shape. That is the seed which he put that. And he is really so magnanimous and started bringing, and he had a big vision that we have to grow leaps and bounds beyond. And everybody had this thing. And we all know the tremendous contribution of Swami Ramdev and what he has brought a miracle. What all we could do in decades, he was able to do in few years, not millions, Who could expect people will come at morning 4 o'clock and 50,000 people attending this thing? It was unheard of. Always people used to think, oh, morning if you do, people will not come. They said nothing doing. 5 o'clock they have to come if they want. And what a response. This shows the miracle that is occurring in the world. So I call yoga is the revolution in the making. From the industrial revolution, yoga is a revolution in the making. That can happen when all of us synergize. So this is the role of IYA. On all fronts, IYA will synergize the efforts, their wisdom base, their tremendous forces that we have, and see that march ahead to bring the world order of Vasudha Eva Kutumbakam. Because everybody has large number of centers. Our Daji has so many centers all over the world. CPG, and all these people have this thing. We also have our work in 120 countries all over the world. It's going to increase more and more. This way, we can bring the whole change in the world at large. And that is going to realize the dream of bringing peace on earth, harmony, love, and others. Many times I used to wonder how much money we spend for defense to keep security. If only we can be together as a big family, the amount of money that we spend for defense, can all be reduced tremendously. And it can build a very wealthy world at large. That's the dream our ancient people had. That has to be brought forth.
Thank you so much, Guruji. These words were so inspiring. Even I feel charged now that we can do so much. It is an incredible feeling to have this future vision so optimistic and so, I would say, open for us. So it's not just a utopia. What you've described is very possible. And I hope that Kanpur University and all the students and all our darshak who are watching on Doordarshan can see and find out how they can themselves contribute. So once again, I think thank you so much for being with us today and giving us this guidance at such a short notice. We thank you so much for this, and we hope your message will carry heart to heart from here to all our audience and their families and everybody beyond. Thank you so much.
Yeah, been wonderful, Ekta. You have a wonderful thing to spread everywhere. And similarly, UC of Kanpur University also is wonderful. And I mentioned that you are so nice in seeing the vision for India. And with all such great minds coming together and all the yoga masters coming together, we will be able to build the things that we want in the world at large. Thank you very much. All the best.